Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a pull, a longing for something more? For our hero, Nina, that feeling was a constant companion. She wasn't just a stargazer. She was a dreamer, an aspiring astronaut, with grease on her hands and stardust in her eyes. Her life was spent in a small workshop, tinkering with her own little spaceship. A vessel she lovingly called the Comet. She dreamed of the day she would finally break free from Earth's gravity and dance among the constellations. But she never imagined her journey would start quite like this. One quiet evening, as the moon cast long shadows across her workshop floor, Nina was elbow-deep in the engine of the Comet, trying to fix a stubborn fuel line. The silence was suddenly broken by a peculiar sound. Beep beep, it was soft but distinct, unlike any sound her ship had ever made. She paused, tools in hand, listening. Beep beep beep, it was coming from behind the main engine block. Cautiously, she peered around the heavy machinery, and that's when she saw him. Two large, luminous eyes blinked back at her. A small, blue creature, with long, floppy ears and skin that seemed to shimmer with its own inner light, was poking its head out from the tangle of wires. It wasn't scary, just surprising. The little alien gave a nervous wave with its three-fingered hand. Before Nina could even process what she was seeing, the creature spoke, its voice a series of melodic chimes that somehow formed perfect English words in her mind. "I'm Zog," he said, his big eyes glowing with an earnest light. "And I'm sorry for hiding in your engine, but the galaxy needs help. Help the galaxy." Nina was about to bombard him with a million questions. Who are you? Where did you come from? What do you mean the galaxy needs help? But she never got the chance. As if triggered by Zog's words, the control panel of the Comet lit up like a Christmas tree. Alarm blared. The ship should lift power the ground. Nina stumbled back, grabbing onto a console for support. The workshop roof retracted, and before she knew it, they were shooting into the night sky, faster than she ever thought possible. A button on the console glowed with an unfamiliar symbol, and Zog reached out and pressed it. The world outside her viewport dissolved into a tunnel of shimmering, rainbow-colored light. This was it. Hyperspace. It was more beautiful and terrifying than any simulation she'd ever run. Planets and nebulae blurred into streaks of vibrant color. She saw entire worlds flash by in an instant. A planet made entirely of shimmering, jagged crystals. A moon engulfed in silent, purple fire. A system of planets orbited by rings of pure, golden light. It was a cosmic ballet, and she was an unwilling participant. She turned to Zog, who was now calmly floating in the zero gravity of the cabin. "What's going on? Where are you taking me?" Her voice was a mix of awe and panic. Zog's glowing eyes softened. He explained that a sinister force was creeping across the universe, a dark, cosmic storm, an entity of pure nothingness that was literally swallowing stars, plunging entire systems into eternal darkness. Countless civilizations were on the brink of extinction. An ancient prophecy had foretold this event, and it also foretold the only way to stop it. The union of a human with unwavering courage and an alien who held the galaxy's ancient knowledge. Zog was the keeper of that knowledge, a descendant of a long-lost race of celestial navigators. And his scanners had identified Nina as the one person with a unique blend of bravery, intuition, and piloting skill needed to face the storm. He had traveled across the galaxy, a refugee from a dying star system, to find her. He had tracked her ship, her dream, and had been waiting for the right moment. This was that moment. Nina looked out at the streams of light, at the dying embers of distant galaxies they passed. The weight of his words settled on her. Her personal dream of space travel had just collided with a galactic-sized crisis. She wasn't just an astronaut anymore. She was a hero. Their destination was a place known only in whispers and legends, the heart of the galaxy. It was a nexus of cosmic energy, the birthplace of stars, and now, the epicenter of the storm. As they exited hyperspace, the view was horrifying. A monstrous, swirling vortex of blackness, shot through with veins of angry, red energy, was churning where a brilliant cluster of young, blue stars should have been. It was a gaping wound in the fabric of space, and it roared with a deep, gut-wrenching sound that vibrated through the hull of the comet. It felt alive, like a predator circling its prey. Any sane pilot would have turned back. Every instinct screamed at Nina to flee. The storm was an impossibly powerful force of nature. But then she looked at Zog. His small face was filled with a desperate hope. He trusted her. And she thought of all the worlds, all the lives, vanishing into that darkness. Her fear was real, but her resolve was stronger. This was what she was meant to do. She gripped the controls. Wait, Sheila nodded what though. Zog pulled out a small, unassuming object from a pouch on his belt. It was a crystal, but unlike any she had ever seen. It seemed to hold a tiny star within its core, pulsing with a gentle, warm light. This is an ancient star crystal, he explained. It contains the creative energy of a newborn star. When activated at the storm's core, it should reverse the decay, but it will create a massive energy backlash. We have to get to the very center, the eye of the storm. He pointed a tiny blue finger at a small, deceptively calm point of light in the middle of the raging chaos. That's our target. Nina took a deep breath. Flying into a cosmic hurricane was suicide. But Zog's prophecy mentioned courage. Sometimes, courage looked a lot like insanity. Hold on tight, she said, her voice steady. She pushed the throttle forward, and the comet, her small, reconditioned ship, plunged directly into the maw of the beast. The ship was immediately battered by gravitational waves and energy currents. Alarms shrieked, metal groaned, and the lights flickered violently. Debris from shattered planets pinged off their shields. Outside, it was a vision of cosmic chaos. Nina wasn't flying by instruments anymore. They were all offline. She was flying by feel, by instinct, trusting the connection she had with her ship. She dodged tendrils of dark energy, weaved through fields of volatile antimatter, and pushed deeper and deeper into the storm. Zog, meanwhile, was chanting in his melodic, ancient language, pouring his energy and knowledge into the star crystal. It began to glow brighter and brighter, its light pushing back against the encroaching darkness inside the cockpit. Finally, they saw it. The eye. A sphere of pure, blinding white light, calm and serene amidst the utter pandemonium. It was beautiful and terrifying. Now, Nina. Go now, Zog cried. Oui ta final, determined the collide. It felt like Durrigan's. Just as they pierced the center, Zog held the crystal aloft, and shall, powerful word, the crystal red. Awavof pure, white energy exploded from the ship, a silent shockwave of creation. The dark storm recoiled from it, hissing and screeching as the light washed over it. The swirling blackness began to dissolve, breaking apart like smoke in the wind. The angry red veins faded, replaced by the soft, familiar glow of starlight. The roar of the storm was replaced by a gentle, cosmic hum. The stars, once being devoured, were not just saved. They flared back to life, shining with a renewed, brilliant intensity. They were brighter than ever before. Nina and Zog, floating in the quiet heart of the reborn galaxy, watched in silent awe as life and light returned to the universe. The journey home was different. The hyperspace lanes seemed friendlier. The stars they passed seemed to twinkle in gratitude. Nina and Zog were exhausted but triumphant. They had stared into the abyss and filled it with light. As Earth grew larger in the viewport, a familiar blue and green marble, Zog turned to Nina. His large eyes, which had held so much worry, were now filled with admiration. He placed his small hand on her arm. The galaxy will remember your name, Nina, he said with a smile. You are its hero. Nina looked from Zog to the familiar, continents of her home planet, and then up at the star-dusted blackness of space. Her little workshop, her old life, it all seemed so far away. She had left Earth as a mechanic with a dream. She was returning as a savior of the stars. As the comet began its gentle descent, she looked out at the vast, endless ocean of stars. And she knew, with absolute certainty, this wasn't the end. This was only the beginning of their adventures. The galaxy was a very big place, and for the first time, she felt like she truly belonged in it. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you love epic space adventures and tales of courage, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. We have so many more galaxies to explore together. See you on the next adventure.